Mario. There he is again, Mario.
Mario, what are you doing with my spaghetti tacos?
Did you ever see that video? Yeah, you can't skip this. Anyway, so yeah, speaking of Mario, lots of Mario stuff was announced the other day. How about that? I mean, you've probably already heard like 50 different channels already discuss all the new games, so I won't dwell on it for too long, but I guess the main takeaway for me was that there's really no reason for me to buy the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, because I've already had all three of those games for many years. With Mario 64, I've owned it multiple times, because I've got the original and the DS remake, and then on the Virtual Console, and so yeah, it doesn't have any appeal to me, but for people who are late getting into it, I mean, that's good for them, I guess. So in terms of what's actually happening in the game, I should explain that why we're in a completely different spot than the previous episode. So previously I had skipped ahead to World 5, but that was clearly way too hard for my simple mind, so I decided to restart or reload the save state and restart the game from an earlier point. We're gonna go on a different path. We're gonna try to finish out World 2 and then 3, obviously, instead of skipping ahead to 5. So that's the plan. So here's something to think about. So I just saw an article, they're gonna make a Shenmue anime, you know, based on the Dreamcast game from 20 years ago, and it just seems very odd to me that something like that could possibly exist. It doesn't fit into my headcanon that Shenmue is a thing that's expanding into new forms of media. I've always had this headspace dedicated to Shenmue as being this hidden gem from years ago on a platform that very few people remember. It's not supposed to be a popular thing. That just doesn't make any sense. It kills me, man. There can't be new Shenmue media in 2020. It's not what it's supposed to be. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it, of course, but I mean, just doesn't jive with what I've always known the series to be. It's just completely broken me. I mean, can you think of some kind of hidden gem, whether it be in video games or movies from 20 years ago, that's just suddenly making a comeback for no reason? There is no such thing, because it's not a thing that happens. It's just so weird that that's gonna exist. Maybe if it does well, we'll get animes based on other Dreamcast games, and we could get a Space Channel 5 and a Jet Grind Radio anime. That second one would actually be pretty good if they did it right. There's lots of interesting stuff they can do with that. So yeah, we beat that boss in one take. I was thinking of the song 1 Pound Dog from that old PC game, and I wanted to combine that with the words one take, but there's no comedy to be had there, so we're not gonna do that. So there's the King Hicarian from the Zelda CDI games. And what does the CDI emulation scene look like these days? Maybe I'll try to play the Zelda CDI games on this channel. Well, boy, that would be a hell of a thing. I've got so many ideas for stuff I want to do on this channel. There's no way I'll ever be able to bring all of it to life. There simply isn't enough time in the day for me to live out all my wacky ideas. I've got an active list going of all the games I want to do on this channel someday, and it's getting close to 300 games, because whenever I think of something, I'll just write it down, and the list just keeps growing and growing, and faster than I could ever possibly make the episodes. Alright, so that was pretty easy. Hey, look at that, we got one of each of the power-ups in ascending order of usefulness. That's pretty neat, but we don't actually get rewarded for that in any way, so who cares? So here's the level where the big fish comes and eats you. That's been a recurring theme in Mario games over the years. Because they also had something like that in Mario 64 with Tiny... Was it just called Tiny Huge Island? Yeah, I think it was. And it was the big old fish and... Yeah. That was a fun concept. A 3D platformer where everything's suddenly giant, and... They were able to do so much with such limited resources in Mario 64. Talented people worked on that. Yes, indeed. And now a whole new generation of shrieking little drooling goblins get to experience Mario 64 for the very first time. That is, if they can buy it before it gets taken away by the evil Nintendo people. Because it's only going to be around for a limited time only. People are pretty angry about that, but again, I just think about how I already have both games, and I just think, well, sucks to be you people, and complain about not being able to play Mario Sunshine, and, well, I've already had Mario Sunshine since I was like 8 years old, so take that. Being the only kid in the era who had a GameCube instead of a PS2 is finally paying off. I was ahead of my time. People laughed at me for having a GameCube instead of the PS2 with Madden, and who's laughing now? I got to play all those cool guy games like 15 years ago. Even longer than that. We're talking like 18 years ago. Okay, there's the big fish I mentioned in the previous level. I thought he appeared earlier than he did, but probably gonna... When people are gonna watch this, they're gonna get to that earlier part where I mentioned the fish and think, what the hell's he talking about? There ain't no big fish in this level. Wonder if people think I'm actually crazy when they watch this. If this is just the ramblings of an insane man. Did you see me clip through the block a minute ago? I guess Nintendo didn't catch that one. Bad hitboxes or what have you. Or perhaps it's just an emulator thing. I don't know what the distinction is. So you can't let that mushroom... Yeah, if the mushroom goes off screen, as in if you outrun the mushroom, it just despawns. So there's no use in going back for it. So you gots to be extra considerate of that. So you can't be too fast. But past me did not know that, and I was going back trying to find it. And now we're trapped. But I want to see what the switch is. Come on, past me, go back and get this. Okay, well, never mind. I guess that's just gonna be a mystery. NES slowdown, whoop-de-doo. Why did the NES always have random slowdowns anyway? So yeah, hitting the switch, it makes this level significantly easier, but I managed to screw it up anyway, as I often do. Because that's all I ever do is just screw things up. I'm a failure. A damn failure. I'm never gonna amount to anything in life other than making these crummy solo Let's Plays to just sit on some far region of the internet and never be seen by anybody. But at least we got the mushroom in Mario 3 that one time. That makes it all worthwhile. They should print that on my tombstone. Got the mushroom in Mario 3 that one time. You know, after everything I've been through in 25 odd years of living, I'd say that was definitely the peak of things that have happened to me when I got that mushroom a moment ago. That was definitely the best achievement to ever happen to old Mongoose 1 billion. Now that I said the name of this channel out loud, I can't change it later because that's gonna be confusing. I say as if anyone's actually gonna see this episode and call me out on it. I've been thinking about changing the name of the channel. I don't really like the name Mongoose 1 billion anymore. I guess I never quite really said it out loud when I was thinking of it. I was thinking of changing the name to Norm Cool Guy. It was based on a thing I saw on Game Informer back in the day. There was just this joke that this Yeah, we're gonna use the cloud to skip over the castle, but anyway, there was this joke that this guy was trying to set up his own E3 across the street from the real thing. It was called Norm Cool Guys Totally Better Than E3 Festival. Gosh, when was that? That was a long-ass time ago. Alright, so we're pretty much at the skill ceiling as far as how far I can get in Mario Bros. 3. If I were to try to press on any further, I'd just end up losing a bunch, so we're just gonna end the series here. I doubt anyone's gonna mind.